Creating live broadcast, eating my breakfast. You want some French fries, Paul? There you are.
The breakfast of champions. Why not?
Yeah, shoot ya. Oh, hello everybody. Me and Paul were just about to eat breakfast. We weren't sure how long that would take. Anyways, hello Paul. How are you today?
Hi, Rich. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you're 2 hours ahead of me in Japan. I'm in Cambodia, so it's still pretty early for us guys. I hope this is a good time for you all in the group to watch this live. Yeah. So what are we talking about today, Paul, for this nuts and bolts session?
Okay. Well, so today we're going to talk about ClubHouse.
That's right. ClubHouse.
By the way, I just thought I'd mention that looks like we've both grown a bit more hair since our last live. So we both had that
but God doesn't want to put more right here for some reason. Maybe that's karma. I don't know.
We both had that kind of maximum security inmate aesthetic last time. So I think that maybe this is a better look for both.
You got the Schwarzenegger hair look. Yeah, I like that. Anyway, okay, so ClubHouse. Yeah, I'm not even on ClubHouse yet because I'm waiting for the Android version, right?
Yeah. All right, so maybe let me start by just talking a little bit about what is ClubHouse.
Okay.
So the founders of the app described it as, I'll read the quote here. They said it's a new type of social product based on voice that allows people everywhere to talk, tell stories, develop ideas, deepen friendships, and meet interesting people around the world. So the way I would characterize it is, I don't know if people can relate to this, but because it's a bit old school, but back when I was a kid, the radio talk shows were kind of popular. You'd have like a host of a radio program, people would call in, and talk about their problems. The host gives some advice, and then you'd get a new caller in and so on. So I suppose
Raskin, Dr. Drew.
I guess, yeah, that's those kind of things, yeah. So it's a little bit like that, or to put it in a different analogy, I think, back in the 80s or 90s, those old phone party lines were a thing, where you'd dial on.
And pagers turned into party lines, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So if you think of that, and then kind of like layer on top of that a social media flavor, So like you can follow people the same way you could follow like on Twitter. It's that kind of feel to it. So with the app, you've got moderators. So moderators can start a room. They call them rooms. So the room is just kind of like a virtual space where everyone can talk in this environment. So you've got moderators. You've got a stage. So when you join the room, a moderator has to invite you onto a stage. And when you're on the stage, it means that you have speaking privileges. It means you're allowed to speak. If you're not on stage, then you are a listener. So you can just listen to what's going on. And so you don't have to be on stage. A lot of people will join rooms and just sit there in the audience as listening. It's a bit like attending a seminar. But I found the rooms that I've enjoyed most have been pretty small, intimate affairs where you get to have these kind of like water cooler conversations. It feels a bit like being at a party, and mixing with guests and just chatting informally in a sort of unrehearsed way. When you're in the room, you can also ping followers. Like there's a button you can tap and it'll tell people who follow you that you're in this room and invite them to come in and join the conversation as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are some rules.
Such as when I'm playing 8-ball pool and your friend is available to play now. Right. Same type of deal. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so there are some rules of etiquette that have developed within the ClubHouse environment. Like if you're on the stage, if you're not speaking, then you should mute your microphone so you don't get, so your
background
ambient noise, background noise doesn't annoy people. If you want to speak, then there's a button you click and you get like the virtual hand raise icon, and then the moderator can invite you to either come on the stage, or if you're already on the stage, you can toggle your microphone, and that's kind of like a signal to the moderators that you have something to say. So the best rooms usually have good moderators who know how to, you know, control the room, give everyone an opportunity to talk who wants to talk. The ones that I haven't enjoyed are where you've got like one person just like dominating the conversation, and that's just becomes, you know, it's a bit like listening to a podcast, which could be good, but I think most people go into Clubhouse to have these, you know, two-way conversations.
Yeah, and same in the offline world. Like when I was in China years ago, and our manager was just reading the contract, the English version, word for word. It took about 2 hours, and we all just sat there with our mouths zipped. And at the end, they didn't even leave time for any comments or any questions or concerns. So yeah, no, it needs to be two-way for sure in the online world as well.
Have you seen that YouTube video of there's some people having a Zoom meeting, and there's one woman in the middle, she's like talking and talking, and there's one guy in the corner who's like sitting like this, not moving, and then suddenly it's a photograph, like it's like a photo of him, and it falls over, and you can see him in the background drinking a beer.
I haven't seen that, but I want to check it out.
Check it out. It's very funny. Yeah.
So you guys get the idea.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I think part of the attraction of Clubhouse is that it is all audio. So
right,
you know,
no video, right? All
no
audio.
video. So,
what about text? Texting, of course.
No, no,
really?
Actually, no. It's just purely audio.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah. So you know, I mean, maybe that's the attraction of it. So some people are saying that this new trend of social audio, which we'll talk about a bit later, it's kind of, maybe it hits the sweet spot in that it's a bit more than text, because text, you know, can be dry. People don't like typing. You know, you get a lot of miscommunication.
There's miscommunication in so many different ways. There's no tone.
Exactly, right. So there's a lot of, you know, that's problematic. On the other hand, video, maybe a lot of people are tired of. Maybe a lot of people are, especially in the Corona pandemic lockdown, people are tired of having Zoom meetings, and you know, there's also the concern about lighting, about, you know, the way you look, you know, and people don't want to get onto Zoom in their pajamas, you know, without, you know, I don't want to go on without my makeup, that kind of thing. So so audio just makes it a lot easier, and you know, I think that's part of the attraction of it. I have found that the audio quality is very good from my experience on it so far, and I think actually they're improving that all the time. It's just like having somebody sitting right next to you when you're talking. That was one of the things I was surprised about.
Right, and you moderate one room?
Yeah. I've been on it since January, and in fact, I wrote a blog post about that. My first day experience on Clubhouse. It's on my blog, but I've been moderating a room for about the last 2 months now, with a lady by the name of Leah Sparrow, who I believe is also a member of your group, Facebook group. So the two of us moderate. Sometimes we have other people come on as help us as moderators as well. And so the name of that room is Online Teacher Connection. So you can
Online Teacher Connection, guys. There you go. And what about
search for my name? Yeah.
Right. And can people phone in with their mobile device, or must you actually, you know, be in the app?
Got to be in the app. Yeah.
I see. So you can't be in the app and then switch to mobile through phone and call a 1-800 number or what have you.
I think that recently they've had some updates to the app, so that if, let's say, you're in the app and you're talking and your phone rings, like you get an incoming call, you can like switch to phone mode and then talk to someone without exiting the app. I think that's been a recent update to their application. Yeah.
Okay, I see. And this room that you're the moderator of, are you also the creator of the room?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So we have what's called a club. So after you've been on the Clubhouse app for a while, you can request to start your own club. So think of a club as a bit like a Facebook group.
Okay, so you need to
so
wait a little while, and you need to earn it to a
kind of,
point.
yeah. I think they want to see that you've had some activity on the platform first, that you're not just a spammer.
Well,
So
that's a good idea, sure, because I get a lot of people joining the group, online teachers, independent, fulfilled, and highly paid, and then immediately after, they're posting something that's really irrelevant in terms of the mission of our group, and they just got in to post, and then they're quickly to get blocked. So yeah, we don't want that. Just like Clubhouse doesn't want that.
Yeah, that's right. And I guess they want to see that you've had enough time on the platform to understand like the rules of etiquette, like how to moderate the room.
Digest what it's all
Yeah,
about.
that kind of thing. Like after I had been on the platform for a couple of weeks, I tried to start my own club, and I was knocked back. But now I believe if I wanted to, I could start up another club on my own. I think the club we're using at the moment was one that Leah, she spun up originally, and now we're both co-moderators. Yeah.
How many members are in your actual clubhouse, like in your own room?
In our room, I think we got about 50 or so members at the moment. So,
and will you consider putting a limit to how many people can come in?
No.
But you prefer them small. You think they should be small enough so they're more interactive and everybody has more of a chance to speak. Is that right?
Yeah, well, the more the merrier who want to join the room. But on any given day, like we only get single-digit numbers of people turning up. I think maybe once we had maybe a dozen people turn up, and that's fine for me. That's what I enjoy best, I think, because you get to have these more intimate, direct, and open conversations with people when they're those kind of numbers. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's all a bit of an experiment for us at the moment. I'd like to think that more people join over time. And one of the cool things about it too is if you've got a club, members within that club can actually start their own rooms under your club brand, under your club name. Like sometimes I've got out my phone and I looked, and there's a couple of people in Online Teacher Connection chatting. Neither of them are myself or Leah. So but none of the regular moderators are in there.
Do they need your permission in order to do that?
No, there might be a setting. There might be a setting for that. And I can understand maybe where you're going with the question is about, if people are doing things that create brand damage.
Right.
I don't know. That's something I'd have to look into, but it's apparently it's an option anyway. If you have a club, you can let people start up rooms under your club name, and that just kind of like attracts in more members, I guess. So pluses and minuses.
So what's the main motive for starting? Like if an online English teacher or any language teacher wants to get on Clubhouse, at this time you need an Apple, right? You need an Apple mobile device or an Apple computer, but that might be changing to Android. You can talk more about that in a bit, I guess. But what would the main motive be then for online language teachers to get on and I guess talk with people who aren't customers yet? Would it be to get new business or some other reason?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. So at the moment, they only have an iOS version of the app. I've seen them. I've seen some reports that they're going to have an Android version in a couple of months, so perhaps in the summer. At the moment, you need also someone who's someone who's on the platform to invite you. So in other words.
Oh, really?
Yes. So if you wanted to get on, you need to know somebody who's already on there. They have to have you in their contact list, and then they send you an invitation code. But having said that, I mean, if you ask around on Facebook and places, lots of people have excess invitation codes now. So I don't think it's that hard. But regarding the question about the business benefits, I'm going to be honest and say probably even if there were no business benefits to doing it, I would probably still do it because I enjoy it. It's like you get to talk to the same people every week, and they kind of become your online friends, and you develop relationships that way. So,
Like-minded individuals, same
yeah,
industry.
exactly,
You never know
right.
what can happen. Partnerships.
Exactly, right. So as long as it's a congenial time, I probably would be happy to go on there anyway and just chat with people about things in my niche that I'm interested in. But I think that there is a business case for it, and I think that we tend to think of social media like organic marketing and paid marketing in terms of reach, like how many people get our message, how many people see our message. And I think Clubhouse really goes in a different direction. So with Clubhouse, the reach is not that huge, but it's more of a deep relationship situation. So you get to have these direct, open, intimate conversations with people, and you can find out a lot about them, like what they're doing, what their pain points might be. So in my own case, like it's led to getting to know people who have become collaboration partners, who have been interested in helping me with what I'm doing, and I'm interested in helping them. So in most businesses, I think collaboration is a really important stepping stone to success. So if you are an online, independent teacher, you can get to know other people who maybe you can strike up a deal with, and maybe you can do referral student situations where if you have got maybe some students who want to take a Cambridge exam. I've never taught anyone to pass the Cambridge exam, so I would be happy to pass them on to someone who does, and likewise. So it's a good way of making those kind of collaborations.
And it's good for understanding your audience. You can learn a lot more about your target audience that way. Use it more as a researching tool.
Exactly. So after I posted after I made that blog post back in January about my initial experience with Clubhouse, there was a fellow by the name of Christian de Groot. He saw that, and he got onto Clubhouse himself, and his specialty is the Cambridge exam, and he couldn't find any Clubhouse clubs that were specifically about that. So he started after a few weeks, he started a Clubhouse club for studying to pass the Cambridge exam. And now he's got like about 300 members, I believe. And these are all, potential students of his. They join his rooms. They talk about the exam. They talk about whatever, frustrations they're having with the exam.
Very focused. Yeah.
Exactly. So first of all, he's learning more about his target audience, which is really, a great benefit to him. And second, he's building up that know, like, and trust factor with his audience. So
credibility, he's building credibility in the minds of people who may buy from him.
Exactly, right. So he's displaying his expertise, his authority. So I think that is an opportunity. Like if you're an independent online ESL teacher, and especially if you have a particular niche, then it makes sense to me that you would want to eventually start a club around that and see who you can attract into that club, and that's really the stepping stone to getting them into your sales funnel and becoming your students. So I think that's really a good opportunity right there. And there's also I don't know of anyone who's doing this, but perhaps they are. And there is also the potential within Clubhouse to create what they call a closed room. So a closed room means only people who you specifically invite into that room. So generally, if I open a room, if I spin up a room, anyone can join it. But you can create a closed room and only invite people who you want into the room. So,
sure.
So this means that there is an opportunity there, I think, for some teachers to have this as kind of like a premium privileged space for their own students to get together and maybe talk informally, practice their English, you know, and this could be like an added service, value added service that distinguishes you from other teachers as well. If other teachers aren't doing this, yeah, and you're promoting yourself, you can say, hey, when you take lessons with me, you'll get this, 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 and this. And also, we have a weekly clubhouse room. We have a weekly clubhouse room. You can just come along, you know, and this is only for my students. So that's like a value added thing that I think would help you to get a higher rate and distinguish you from other teachers.
Right. And does Clubhouse encourage monetization on their platform? So for instance, if you have this closed group where you need some secret password to get in that you can only get after you start a recurring payment plan, maybe through PayPal, let's say, which isn't connected with Clubhouse. Like, do they encourage that? Is it possible to do that directly through Clubhouse?
That's a great question. I don't think that they have that option at the moment, but I've heard rumors that it is something that they will introduce. I know that they want to incentivize content creators on their platform, and I'm sure that sooner or later they will have that option to have like a payment gateway to join these closed rooms. But having said that, like, you can always do that offline anyway, or you know, at arm's length. You could just have a process and say, hey, you know, you can tell your students, hey, if you want to join my clubhouse, you have to pay me this fee each month, and two, tell me what your clubhouse handle is so that I can invite you in each week. So it's not that complicated.
Sure, like this fellow who teaches how to pass an exam, Cambridge. Well, you know, he could lead people in the free Clubhouse room to a page on his site that gives a special discount perhaps to Clubhouse room people, and it would be quite reasonable in price for them to become a member of his closed group, and then he can have his more deluxe servicing as the big baby. So yeah, I see what you're saying. You could do it outside a Clubhouse, and people can't be allowed in unless they, you know, start to pay, and then they're allowed into, because you're the boss and you can let in who you want. So Clubhouse doesn't even need to know about that.
No, So I think there are a lot of different ways that you could, you know, integrate it into your sales funnel, into your business model. Yeah. So some tips I think for doing well with Clubhouse. One, I think, is when you get on the platform. So follow people who are in your niche, because then you know, when you follow them, you can see what followers they have. You can follow them, and so on. So just like the old, you know, it's just like Twitter. You know, you can find out who follows who, and follow for follow, that kind of deal. So I think follow people, join rooms that are in your niche. So if you see rooms, Clubhouse or clubs or rooms that are related to your niche, try to join those rooms as often as you can. Speak. So I mean, if you join in the room, if you go into the room and you sit there as a listener, people are probably not going to notice you. But if you actually take the initiative and say, hey, I've got something to say, get the moderators to bring you on stage, you know, contribute to the conversation, it's more likely that people are going to pay attention to you, and maybe follow you. In Clubhouse, you've got a bio profile, like you've got your own profile page. So you should optimize that profile. Have a good, you know, friendly, professional profile picture that goes for any social media, really. So, you know, don't use a photo of your cat or your car or something like that. Have a real photo in there. You get to write some. You can get to write a description. I can't remember how many words or characters you're allowed, but the important part is the first 2 lines are what people see first, and then they've got to tap to read the rest. So you should really optimize those first 2 lines of your bio.
Yeah, don't forget that, guys. Like, even on YouTube, like, if you don't want to bury, for instance, a link to your squeeze page, you might want to have 2 links, one at the top that will be seen without people having to click. So many social media sites are like that. And do they allow a cover image or just a profile image, like a circular profile image?
Just the profile image. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I have seen people who like they switch out their profile image like within the room. Like if they've got something that they wanted to promote, for example, you could have a profile image with that promotion, I guess, and like within the club you can switch your image, and so everyone who's in that room can see that image, and that could be a tactic, I suppose. But yeah, that you only get that one image. You do get to add, well, you don't get to add clickable links to the bio, so it's a bit like Instagram in that regard. But you can add links to your Instagram account and your Twitter account, and so you should also think about well, you should do this anyway. Optimize your Instagram profile page and your Twitter profile page if you have Twitter. So because a lot of people when they're in Clubhouse, and if somebody's speaking and they're interested in what they're saying, first thing that they're likely to do is one, check your profile, check your Clubhouse profile, and 2, they might click through to your Instagram page or your Twitter page to find out more about you. So you should think about optimizing those as well.
And it's not connected to Facebook then?
No, not yet. No,
Funny.
well,
interesting.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a bit. So Twitter and Instagram is what they're very well.
So when you're speaking to people in your room, you're not able to text and link drop, are you?
No.
It's just plain audio. Okay.
Plain audio, yeah.
Do you get problems when people are talking at the same time?
That can happen, and that's where a good moderator, I think, is important. So a moderator, it's the moderator's job to make sure that there's not a lot of crosstalk. And as a moderator, you do have the ability to mute people. If somebody's going off on a rant and you've politely asked them to wrap up their point, but they won't, then it is possible to mute
you boot them. Okay, got it.
Yeah, mute them or boot them. Yeah, so
I always lose sleep after that.
Within Clubhouse, people the convention is that people use their real names, so it's a bit like Facebook in that regard. And so I think it probably won't be long before they integrate this with LinkedIn, or maybe LinkedIn's going to come out with their own version of it. I don't know what's going to happen there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So, and of course, if you are using Clubhouse for business purposes, think about the timing of your rooms. Think about the schedule, because like if you're in, say, East Coast USA, and your target audience is in Asia, then East Asia. So you're going to have to schedule your room for a time that's most convenient for your target audience. So, and we're operating in a global environment, so we're operating globally as ESL teachers, so that can be something that you need to think about.
Right, such as when we do a live, but these, of course, can be, these lives can remain in the group after as pre-recorded videos. Can you do that with Clubhouse, where like if you have a really good event, you can allow people to listen to it afterwards?
That's a great question. So I think it's possible to record the rooms, but Clubhouse has some pretty strict terms and conditions around this. I think that you need to tell people that the room is being recorded in advance.
Yeah.
But to be honest, most of the rooms I've been in, they have not been recorded. I think the ethos is a bit like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Like I think people are going to be more reluctant to speak openly if there's a potential for what they say in the room to come back and bite them. There's a lot of club rooms I've seen around things like dating and relationship advice, around like business and careers. There's been some really, alternative ones too, like talking about UFO sightings. There seems to be a lot of ones about meditation and relaxation, and some of them
The
some of them are fun.
afterlife.
Yeah, well, there's
Ouija
a wide
boards.
there's a wide variety on there.
More categories, the better.
Yeah,
More
yeah.
activity.
So I think the kind of like ethos is not in favor of recording the sessions. Having said that, I know that some people have been streaming these Clubhouse sessions live on Facebook, but if Clubhouse finds out about them, you can get your account shut down.
Right.
And I have even seen Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, he's a prominent social media guy, where he's
a
recorded.
big fan of his. Yeah.
Well, he's recorded YouTube videos where he's talking to people on Clubhouse, and you can see he's on video.
Oh.
But at the beginning, he says quite honestly, he said, like openly, he says, "Hey guys, I'm recording this for YouTube, so just be aware of that." So it's kind of a gray area, and I think it's probably best to steer away from recording and just take the platform as it's intended, which is meant to be in the moment, honest, open, intimate kind of atmosphere, kind of environment.
Yeah, and I can't see Clubhouse wanting to store all of the recordings. That would require a lot of disk space.
Well, that's an interesting comment there, because apparently Clubhouse does record the conversations.
Oh, really?
Internally, in case if someone gets reported for just being a jerk on the platform. So you can report people who really are behaving obnoxiously within that room, and then Clubhouse will look into that. And if those complaints turn out to be founded, then the person who was complained against may be removed from the platform.
I wonder how long they store the recordings before they're deleted.
I don't know. I mean, that's a big security topic.
Yeah.
So I would like to think that they only keep them for like 30 days or something, and then get rid of them.
How are they making money right now? Do you know? That's always the question of mine, because I like to know how they're in operation, what's motivating them and all that.
Yeah, well, good question again. I don't know that they have any big revenue streams at the moment, but they from what I've seen, they've been valued at $1 billion with a B.
Really?
$1 billion.
We're talking US dollars and not real. We're out from Cambodia.
No, US dollars, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so there are some big names in the Silicon Valley investment investment world who are putting money behind Clubhouse. So they obviously see it as the next big thing. And I think that it could be that the 2020s are going to be this era of social audio. So this is what people are tagging it as, social audio, which would be ironic in a way, because I was thinking about this last night. It was about 100 years ago, the 1920s, when radio became the big hot thing. Everyone was getting radio for the first time. So it could be 100 years later now, 2020s, where social audio is the golden period.
Yeah, and I bet if you take all, for instance, Facebook users and you calculate the percentage that text message most of the time and those that do audio most of the time, I'm sure most likely text, but there's got to be a lot of people utilizing audio messaging in order for all this to happen, I'm sure, right? So they have something specific towards that now. I'm sure every social media account will have an audio feature. Twitter does. You use audio on Twitter.
Yes, that's right. So Twitter has an audio tweet feature. I'm not sure if everyone has it yet. They seem to be rolling out to select countries, but Twitter has an audio tweet feature, which I've used. So if you're on Twitter, go hashtag 50 lesson tips for ESL. So haven't quite got to 50 yet, but yeah. So I'm just making a bunch of audio tweets, and so Twitter is already there. So they're using audio. I have seen an interview with Mark Zuckerberg, and he says that he wants to make audio a first-class media, I think was the term he put it, because people are using text, images, people are using video. podcasting's been around for a while, but I think Facebook wants to have more audio, like purely audio content on their platform. So they're going to start pushing podcasts more within your Facebook news feed. They're doing some integrations with Spotify. They're going to maybe start doing the same thing as Twitter and having like these, they call them sound bites, where you can like just record something and publish that in your Facebook organic feed. But they also are going to introduce something that sounds very similar to Clubhouse, and they're calling it live audio rooms. And apparently they're going to roll this out in the summer, starting with Facebook groups. So that may be something that, you know, your group will be able to take advantage of in the
So are you just talking about, like, for instance, when somebody posts, they can just post audio?
Yeah, that would be the sound bites thing. Yeah, the sound bites feature.
Right, and then you can have an audio room, such as
Yes.
what Clubhouse is doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if
So
they would include text, or if it'd just be strictly audio. Probably strictly audio, I would imagine.
I don't know. I mean, it's
Because right now you can make a room and you can talk audio and you can text.
Yeah. Well,
So it must be
we'll see.
different than that coming up.
We'll see. We'll see. Twitter has something similar to Clubhouse already called Twitter Spaces, and I've been on there. I'll be honest, the audio quality didn't seem as good as Clubhouse. I know that they have a limit on like how many speakers you can have within a Twitter Spaces room. I think it's like 11 is the
Or you got to go pro. Got to pay for pro.
Well, I don't know.
Who knows? I don't know.
Even that option, but I haven't had much experience with it. But I know that they have limits. Whereas like Clubhouse has had, I've seen rooms with up to like 50 speakers on stage.
Yeah.
So Twitter does have auto-generated captions though. So
yeah, I've seen that. Text to audio. So if you audio to text. So if you leave audio, it's fairly accurate that it goes to text. I found it to be quite accurate.
Yeah. So you know that could be something, you know, especially for people who have hearing disabilities. So that, you know, it's good that they're thinking about accessibility, that sort of thing. Also, you know, I think the evidence is that people like to see the captions as well. Maybe when they're in an environment where, you know, they can't listen. So. And the big thing, I guess, about Twitter Spaces is that's available now on Android, so you don't have to wait for that. If you want to get started, you can. If you do have Twitter Spaces available in the region where you are, you can check that out now.
Yeah, and on your blog, you have the transcriptions. You have not only the audio but the transcription. Yeah.
Yeah, for some of them, I gotta catch up on a lot of them. It takes a bit of time editing even the.
Well, I appreciate the work you do.
Those podcasts can be converted into text, but it still takes a bit of time to go through and clean it up and, you know, edit out all the ums and ahs and so on. So yeah, but that's what I'm doing because I think that it helps for SEO purposes, and it also helps for searchability on my blog. If people are, you know, looking for content about a particular topic, it's easily searchable.
This may be a little off topic, but can you red flag the ums and ahs so that when there's one, you can get rid of all of them within the transcription for an entire video?
It would be great.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
Maybe you can. I don't know. I'm using a tool. I'm using a tool called Happy Scribe at the moment, which, you know, does an okay job, but still.
Well, back to Clubhouse. With Clubhouse, is there advertising? Like, I know they have investors, as you were saying, right? This is a big thing. It's valued at $1 billion plus. So is there advertisements as well that you have to put up with when you're in there?
No. Well, no, but at the moment, no. You know, maybe.
Well, that's good.
Maybe there will be, but I kind of think there'll be a lot of resistance to that happening. So I don't know.
They don't want to ruin a good thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their plans are for monetizing it, but you know, I think that now they're at that stage where they're just trying to get growth,
building
and audience.
interest.
Yeah,
sure, engagement. Well, I can't wait to get on. I want to check it out. I almost went and bought a new Apple computer. No. I didn't.
Yeah. you
And
would
guys,
enjoy it, I think.
remember that there's some social media accounts that have already proven to get people clients, online English teaching students, different languages, different industries, coaches have got clients through Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter. There's the tried and true, right, that have already proved themselves. This is new and exciting. Who knows? Maybe it won't end up working for that long. Maybe it will never make it, right? But if you get in early, it can be very advantageous if you're going to use it to get prospects and clients. I would use this more for researching, as long as people in Asia are interested in this app and can get on and actually use it. What are your thoughts on that? Like, what countries is this really hot?
Well, I think it's global. I mean, not just Asia. I think, think about South America, think about the Middle East. I have actually seen a number of rooms that are, the title of the room is Let's Practice English. Right, so I just happened to stumble into a room, full of Japanese people one evening.
Really?
And but they were there speaking English, at various levels, of course. But the purpose of the room was a place for Japanese people to come together and practice English.
Imagine that.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I had a dinner engagement, so I couldn't stick around, and I was so much of a newbie at that stage that I didn't think to follow the moderator of the room. So I haven't been able to find that room since.
Oh.
It might have been just a one-off thing anyway. But if you do find a room like that where there are people practicing English and you wanna join next time, then you should follow the moderator. You can see who the moderators are because they have like a green star next to their name, and just tap on their profile and then tap the follow button. You can sort of get to know these rooms. You can get to know the spaces where there are ESL students hanging out.
Yeah.
Offer some advice, offer some help, be generous with what you bring to the room. And that's how you can build up a reputation and a brand for yourself, I think.
And if somebody is in a room where there's, language learners, and they may become prospects, go through to their website and buy, how would you encourage them to participate? Should they add value first? Should they just pitch? Like, what are your thoughts on prospecting inside? How should people manage themselves?
Yeah. Well, I asked Christian about this. Christian, the group I mentioned earlier, who has his own club now for Cambridge exams, and he says it like he doesn't pitch very much, hardly ever. Like, the whole room is about offering value and providing a valuable meeting point, valuable resource. But naturally, I think people, when they get to know you, when they get to trust you, they will out of curiosity find out more about you and what services you're offering. So I think that it's probably, as I said, good idea to have an optimized profile that explains clearly what you're doing, like what services you offer, and have those links to your Instagram page, links to your Twitter account.
Sure. So be more indirect about it. Don't pitch them all the time. Hey, go here to get the course or anything like that. No.
Yeah. So I mean, it's okay to mention that what you're doing, but just be careful about
to a degree.
The hard sell. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Is there anything else you want to add? This has been really informative. I know I've learned a lot.
No, I think I covered everything. I guess
what Jerry says here. Sorry, Paul. She says it seems to always be the same content. What do you think about that?
Well, I hope she's not talking about my room, but no,
I'm sure it's not your room.
What we try to do is have like a topic for each week. So we'll in the room description, it'll be like, this week we're talking about a couple of weeks ago we talked about starting a YouTube channel for ESL teachers. I think the week before that was like using Twitter for prospecting ESL students.
Okay.
So next week the topic is appealing to ESL learners of all ages. So that was a question that one of the clubhouse, well, that was a question that one of the room members had. So a gentleman, I forget his name, but he said that he was concerned about whether his lessons were really engaging or motivating for his students. So so that's going to be the topic of next week. So yeah, I think it's good to have some sort of a headline topic and focus the discussion around that. That's one of the things that we found early on, was that when we started this club, was that people wanted to have some sort of a conversation focus point.
Right, and you wouldn't change the topic every day. That's just moving a little too fast, wouldn't you say?
Well, we have a room scheduled every week. So the room is at the same time every week, and we have like a different, and the conversation could go for an hour, it could go for 2 hours. I've seen some rooms that have gone for 40 hours. They just have like different people popping in and popping out.
Wow, they must be on lockdown.
Yeah.
It's really good content.
I've heard of people that have forgotten to go to work because they've just been so absorbed in the conversations.
Oh, don't lose your bread and butter. Okay, so yes, have the same day and time, for the workshop or the clubhouse meeting. But I wouldn't change the topic every day, because people are going to have other ideas, when they're not in the room, and they're going to want to talk about it more. I like your weekly focus. And do you have the same focus, like, for instance, on your blog? Like, if you just blogged about a particular topic, would that be the topic of the week in your clubhouse room? And make it more uniform in all your media?
Well, yeah, it could be. I mean, that's what has been suggested to me, is like, is to post something on my blog, and then we talk about that in Clubhouse, or vice versa. We have a conversation in Clubhouse, and that generates a lot of ideas, a lot of information, and then take that conversation and use that when writing a blog post. Or if you've got a YouTube channel, if you're making YouTube videos, you can take the ideas and the content that you've gained from the Clubhouse room and then incorporate that into your YouTube. So I think that it is a good idea to kind of like have some continuity between your different channels, for sure.
Like you would your username, your profile picture, your cover. Yeah, one of my coaching proteges, Nicole, has a really good, she does Facebook Lives in her group. It's like a book reading club. So for instance, people can listen and watch live, and then from there in Clubhouse, everybody can talk about their thoughts in terms of what they learned as she read the book, and they can extend beyond, and they can have fun with it together and talk about what Nicole shared. That'd be a good idea. It could be an extension, right? Clubhouse could be an extension. Yeah, more interaction.
That's my thought. Yeah, I think that Clubhouse could be a good extension to other things that you are doing. So,
right. So not just for researching your target audience and getting to know them better, like you would use perhaps Google Keyword Planner or one of these others, one of Neil's projects, but as well prospecting, perhaps to get a new client, and having a bonus that comes with your package where they get to belong to your clubhouse to reinforce what they're learning, for instance. So there's different things you can do with this. Yeah.
And I've said this in some of my videos, that I think one of the things that students are looking for when they sign up for lessons is they're looking for community, because we all know that when it comes to learning languages, there's a very high dropout rate. People get bored, they get frustrated. It's a lonely road. But if you're offering them some sort of community where they can, on a regular basis, get together with like-minded people who are doing the same journey, they're more likely to stay the course, which is good for you. That's what we want as teachers, right? We want people to stay the course with their training. So I think that offering some sort of community is a way of adding value to your lesson offers, and it's a way of distinguishing yourself from the crowd.
For instance, you can have your current client base, if you're already in business, and you could do a quick survey. You know, if you were going to join a group where we can help you with some homework, we can talk about the last lesson, where would you prefer that to be? In WeChat? Would you like a group there? In Facebook? How about ClubHouse? Have you heard about that yet for audio? Oh, you know, so you could talk to your existing customers, and or you just know, you know, what your target audience is going to want based on the popular social media in their area, and you just announce it, and you get that when you buy. Yeah,
that's right. I'll just mention as well that I'll mention that as far as I know, ClubHouse is available in China, so it's not
really
not blocked
for now.
For now, it's not blocked like Facebook. So so that's an opportunity there too if your target audience is people in mainland China.
Yeah, well, they love their iPhones over there, right?
Yeah, apparently, yeah, that's what I've heard.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there anything else, Paul? That was really informative. I got a lot out of that too.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say, so yes, we do have a weekly room on ClubHouse, so you can follow us on. If you're on the app, then you can follow us at Online Teacher Connection. That's the name of the club.
Online Teacher Connection, not connection, singular connection.
Connection, yeah.
Okay.
And the time that we go live with that is 8 p.m. This is on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Beijing time, 2 p.m. Paris time, 1 p.m. London time, 8 a.m. East Coast North America time, and 5 a.m. West Coast North America time for all those early birds out there who might be just coming off the graveyard shift. So yeah, that's when we go live, and you can find that under Online Teacher Connection, or you can follow me. That's Paul Salloway on the app, and also you can check out my my blog article which I wrote about this. If you go on Google and search ClubHouse for ESL Teachers, it's the first result in Google for that search term. So you can. Yeah, so you can go to my blog and read more about that, and it's got my interview with Christian. It's got my interview with Christian the group in there as well, so you can see actual experience of teachers who are using ClubHouse for their business.
Yeah, and guys, you may not have seen a video with Paul in it before, but I'm sure if you haven't heard his voice, you have read his words within the group, because he's very helpful, and he doesn't give away fluff. He gives away information that can actually help you to get prospects and to make money through the internet as an online teacher. So no, you're really helpful, and keep churning out that fantastic content.
Thank you. Thanks, Rich.
Awesome. Okay, well, guys, thanks for watching. I can't see why this won't be a popular video. I see ClubHouse doing very well in the future, and I can't wait to get on soon when it's available on Android. All right, Paul. Yeah. Well, it's early. We need to get our coffee now. You drink coffee, don't you?
Absolutely. Yep. I'm on my third cup for the day.
Well, I have to ration, so I'm on my 10th already. Yeah.
Go easy.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, Paul. That was awesome, and we will see you guys soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay.
See you, Paul.
Bye. Till next time.
See you guys. All right.